Hey everyone, welcome back to the kitchen of Busy Career Moms, and my name is Leah Heidinger, and today we are going to make oatmeal muffins that are super healthy and absolutely delicious. So to get started, we need to start with 1.5 cups of old-fashioned oats. If you have oatmeal, you can use that as well. Now I'm starting with the dry ingredients, so I should use the big bowl. Our next ingredient, just to make them a little bit healthier, and I have added 1 teaspoon of flaxseed and 1 teaspoon of chia seeds into the dry mix. This is going to add omegas and a lot of fiber to the muffins, and they'll still taste very delicious. Our next dry ingredients that I've put together here is a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So I will add those to the mix. Now you can add half a teaspoon of salt if you wish. I choose to not use salt. And then my secret ingredient is GC Control. Now GC Control is going to replace your flour and your sugar, and it is such an amazing product because it's going to add 10 grams of protein to the recipe and only 1 gram of sugar. So we're going to add 1.25 cups of GC Control, and you can use lots of different flavors to make these muffins. So today I'm using caramel creme brulee. Some other popular choices could be cinnamon streusel or the fresh apple cinnamon. If you like chocolate, there's also chocolate available. So we're just going to take a second and mix together these dry ingredients. And then we're going to set this bowl aside, and I will just quickly show it to you how awesome these look. I can't wait for that. All right, so now on to the wet ingredients. The first ingredient that we're going to use is an egg. So lightly crack the egg and don't get any shell in there. We'll use the full egg. We'll use a teaspoon of vanilla, which I just conveniently measured into this container. And we will also use a 1/4 cup of oil. Now I've chosen to use coconut oil, and now I had some ripe bananas that I'm just going to grab here. Okay, so I like to store my bananas in the freezer, and then I don't let them fully thaw before I use them in my recipe because they're easier to mix with if you don't. And I just cut off the tip of the banana and squeeze the rest of it right out of its shell. So if you're ever using frozen bananas, that's just one of my little tips. Okay, so with our wet ingredients, we're just going to beat them together until they are smooth with a whisk. If you want, you can use a blender, but it's really not necessary. And once we have them in a nice soft consistency, we're going to fold them into our dry mix. We don't want to overmix this part of the recipe, but just combine it all together. And we're almost there to show you guys this yummy batter. Oh, and you can already start to smell the delicious caramel flavoring of the GC Control. And GC Control is also gluten-free, so these muffins will be gluten-free. And all you're going to do is fill up a 1/4 cup of batter, or a little less, and scoop it into the muffin tins. We don't need to spray them down or anything. We are using liners to make it easier and also friendlier for school lunches. And once you've done this, it will make exactly 12 muffins. And you're going to stick them in the oven for 20 minutes at 375. So let's pretend that's done. And I will just give you a little sneak peek at what it's going to look like. So this is the finished product. On this particular batch, I did decide to make a little extra oat crumble topping. And all I did was used a tablespoon of coconut oil with a teaspoon of cinnamon and a quarter cup of the oats, the rolled oats again, and mix those all together and put it on top before baking. But actually, feedback from my family said that it wasn't needed, although it was delicious, and they were good as is. So you'll see here they don't stick, and they're delicious and very filling, very full of fiber. So you'll love this. Check below this recipe and I will post the nutritional information as well. Thanks for joining.